Let's do this.
Welcome back, family. Hey, we're here for the CovrPrice Top 20 for October 7th, 2024. I'm your host, Rich, and we're going to get into this. Let's see, we got something sounds a little weird to me. So if somebody can give me a check, a verification that you're hearing me, it would be greatly appreciated. I know we got Robin Monroe already here saying, good evening, Rich, my fellow coconuts. You got some nice books last Saturday. Last Saturday. Trying to remember which one. That BP one is the only slab book I have. I'm assuming that's a Black Panther one. My son got a 9.4 for my birthday a couple of years ago. That's cool. That's really nice. And last Saturday, I think he's talking about the only slabs last Saturday. Okay. Hi everyone. Hey Kenneth, how's it going? So again, if somebody can give me a sound check, just verify that you hear me, it would be greatly appreciated. And in the meantime, I'm just going to unplug this and plug it back. Yes, you can hear me. Great. See, if I don't hear myself at least a little bit, I start to worry. And that, it's because I had the volume all the way off. That would do it too. Duh. Hey, did you guys check out Comics Curing Cancer this weekend with the art auction on Saturday and the comic auction yesterday? Oh my God, that was just so great. In case anybody's interested, we hit our goal. Last year we hit 52,000, I think it was, and the year before we only hit like 26. So 52 was just that we doubled. It was great. This year they set a goal of 50,000, and before everything got started, Rob did say that he had been talking to Chris, Comic Vet, that with the economy the way it is, the uncertainty of the future, the fact that the comic market is down a bit since last year, he thinks we're going to have a hard time getting to 50, and we should prepare ourselves for 40, which is still great. Still great. We broke the record. We hit 54 this year. And the best part about it, though, is that Rob was in good health. Last year, he was really not doing well. He had to pull himself together, not pull himself together. Just fight through not feeling well for the auction. This year, DJ Lynx was not feeling well, and he fought through. So maybe next year we will be 100% healthy. See, did you send my package out lately? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. With everything that was going on with Comics Curing Cancer and work, the packages did get sent today. You should have it by the end of the week. I'm sorry for the late pack. I did throw in 2 extra comic books to say I'm sorry for being late. But I missed it. Missed most of C3, but caught a bit of the auction. Yeah, and I actually saw when your books went up and everything too. So that was cool. We're gonna jump right into this top 20 list. There is at least one spoiler for Agatha. If you're trying to avoid spoilers, people that have figured out stuff, then I will let you know when we get close. Okay, that's okay. Boy, you type fast. Not a problem. Anytime. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this. Coming in at the number 20 spot, like I said, when we get to something that is going to be a spoiler, I will give you a chance to duck out or mute me or whatever. I hate Mondays. Number 20 on the list, we've got Venom number 3, the first appearance of Null. This is still on the list, of course, because we not only do we know that we're getting Null in the Venom Last Dance movie, but it's going to be played by Andy Serkis, which is interesting. Now, before you say, wow, they wouldn't get Andy Serkis to play a character unless they're going to be using him in other things, which I agree with. However, he had a pretty good role in Andor, and it's over. He's not going to be in future episodes unless somehow he learned how to, dive from 100 feet and into the ocean and not know how to swim. So, tied together a couple of stormtroopers and use them as a raft. All right. So this book, it used to be worth like $300 easy all the time in a 9.8. All time high was in 2020, hit 502, but it was going for a little bit higher than it's going now. It's actually dropped down a little bit to 225. 9.6 is at 170. Even the near mints are now selling for one near mint pluses at 124, rather 120 on August 3rd. 140 for the regular near mints. I think near mint is a better indication. Somebody will say, "Oh yeah, this is a 10.0." It comes in, it's like a 7. Anybody that advertises their book as a 9.0 to 9.4, generally you're looking at 9.4 to 9.6, maybe 9.8. They're trying to be conservative with their grading, which I appreciate when they do. Okay. So this has already started to go down a little bit, and I think it will continue to go down. Um, Unless we get some kind of news that Null is going to remain in um the MCU. There are rumors that Null will be in the Spider-Man movie, but I don't see that happening. I mean, you gotta get Venom into the Spider-Verse before you get Null into it. So I don't know. I still think that this book has got a little bit left to go down, but it's a great book to have, though. I mean, it's an iconic cover which has been homaged. So 225 is not a terrible price for this book in a 9.8. I think it'll go down a little bit more. I don't think it's going to go under 200 though. Just my thought. Coming up number 19, we've got Spawn number 1, and this one's actually interesting. There's perpetually news that Spawn is coming to the being redone in the movies. McFarlane's been saying that for I think now for 8 years. However, I see this last sale of a 9.8, 108. Dude, you can get a Spawn number 1 for 108 or 100 to $110. That's a good buy. That really is. I would go for that. The 129 is about the average price. It is at forever. You always try to shoot for something in the 115 to 120 range. That makes you feel like you're getting a good buy. But if somebody got one for 108, what makes me wonder is I didn't look up this sale, but it could be 108 because it might have been, say, $40 in shipping. So, oh boy. Oh man, here comes round 2 for 25 Perez. Everybody keep him in your prayer. Keep him in your prayer. Dude, stay safe. Keep those comic books dry. So, yeah, if you can find it for 108 and shipping's not killing you, that's a decent book to get. Bear in mind that there are millions of these books, but it's one that everybody always wants to get, and a 9.8 is still a 9.8. Coming number 18, we have the Sentry number 1. This dropped down a little bit on the list, I see. It's the first appearance of the Sentry, Robert Reynolds, and there is a Comic-Con version of this, which is not on the list this week, which you can see right there. I see the prices have actually continued to go up. 9.8 is now at $375. 9.6 is at $190. Near mints are selling for $90. We know we're getting him in the movie. He's cast. He's in the trailer and everything. However, how good is he going to be? There's so many characters, so many main characters that they've put into the MCU that they've done such a lousy job of that as soon as a movie comes out, people get disgusted by them and it crashes. I mean, the High Evolutionary, Warlock, anything to do with Secret Wars, She-Hulk dropped down like crazy, and the first appearance of Titania. I mean, just about all the characters that they've debuted in the last few years since Endgame have not held value at all because they're just not well received. And I'm just afraid this is going to be another one of them. So I'd love to have it in a 9.8 because with that black cover, it's really hard. But if I'm wrong and it goes up, I'm just going to say, okay, I missed it, but I really don't think so. I think that this book is going to drop between now and the movie. And then when the movie comes out, I got a feeling this one is just going to nosedive. So I'd stay away from it right now. It's always been a high value book. It's not super high because only of the movie. It's got value unto itself, but I just think it's going to go down. This is a great cover by Pete Shimomoko. I do got to give that one credit. I think that's supposed to be Gwenpool with the hood, but it's Deadpool number 7, the Virgin 1 in 100 ratio variant. Came out last week, and it is going for, let's see, somebody pre-ordered it, pay 160. Last sale was at 105, even though the fair market is 130. So it's on its way down, just like most 1 in 100s. I've never been quiet about this. I am not a fan of the ratio variants. I think that they're really killing a lot of the value in a lot of the books. And I think a lot of people are going to get new collectors that are trying to get into it. They buy these 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 150, 1 in 100, 1 in 250, 1 in 1,000, whatever, berserker. And 3 months, 6 months later, they see their investment, lose half its value 99 out of 100 times. And if you're getting into the hobby because you want to try to make money, it's the wrong thing to do. Okay, it really is. Get it just like any other hobby. If it's stocks, if it's art, if it's coins, if it's stamps, if it's whatever, collect it because you love it. Okay, baseball cards. If it's something that you really, really enjoy, really love about it, um, collect it because you want it. This way, if it does go down in value, you don't feel terrible, horrible. I have books that have dropped a lot in value, and I look at them and I don't feel bad about how much I paid for it because I love the book. There are certain items that I'm like, I know I could probably get that for half the price right now, but I don't feel regret because I'm just glad that I have it. I enjoy it. And if you collect what you love, don't worry about the price. Um, so I think that that's what's going on though with the market is that so many people, the new people getting into the hobby, are getting lulled into some of these high price books that right out of the gate, these high ratios by people like Momoko and Jason Campbell, Archer, McFarlane, whatever, and think, oh, I'm going to buy this book for 100 and I'm going to be able to sell it for 300. And then when it goes down to 50, they're like, oh, this is horrible. I got to get out of this hobby. And they didn't get into the hobby for the right reasons. And, we're going to lose a big generation of, of people reading and collecting comic books if they don't straighten it out. Next on the list, this is actually kind of cool. Voltron number 1. I was actually waiting for Voltron to join the list of all the 80s cartoons and uh, anime and comic books and everything else that has taken off, had a resurgence. Um, I don't know if this has been optioned or not, but it's just really kind of cool. This is the first appearance of Voltron in USA Comics from 1985. A 9.8. Wow, 280. High sale on this was in 2021 for 1470. Oh man. I know. See, now that person's probably ticked. 9.6 sold not that long ago for 120, and Near Mint Raw is going for 56. I'll be honest, I would not mind picking up a 9.8 in that. That's just cool. I remember this. I remember a friend of mine had the full size, like, 2 foot tall, die cast Voltron uh, toy. I mean, the dang thing was heavy. It was still in the box. And he took it to one comic book store trying to sell it. And they offered him like $25. And I'm like, he called me up and I'm like, don't you dare sell it for $25. And I told him to go to another, I think it was the place called the Bat Cave in Manhattan. And they offered him like 300. So he sold it to them. At that time, that was worth it. I bet you that's worth a lot more right now. Anyway, I don't know if this is optioned or anything. We do have a newsstand version of it. We have a Canadian price variant of it as well. But this book itself is, I would love to see some signatures or something on this because of all that white. You can get remarks and everything on this. This is cool. It's from Modern Comics, which, yeah, I'm not even familiar how many copies there would be of this. I think 280 for nostalgia's sake for a 9.8. I think that's worth it. Just me personally. Next on the list, we've got the New Mutants, number 98's first appearance of Deadpool, because Deadpool is now hitting the streaming services and soon to becoming Disney Plus. We'll be getting another resurgence of it. This book remains as on the hot list because of how well received the Deadpool Wolverine movie was. 9.8s are dropping down a little bit now. So you got fair market value is at 1101, and now we're back down to 1,028. I told you this book was going to come back down under 1,000, and we're almost there. 9.6s are at 449, and near mint raws 340, and near mint plus 315. Oh, that was back in August. So 340 for a near mint raw. Well, if you get a near mint for 340, and they're rating it between a 9.0 and a 9.4, but you can buy a slabbed 9.2 like this person did for 333 or a 350 for a 9.4. Why wouldn't you do that? It's when you hit the 9.6 at 449 and the 9.8 for 1,000. That's when you get the difference. I'd wait on this. It's got a little bit more downturn to come down to go. Even if after the election, regardless of who wins, even if somebody starts turning around, it's not going to be a bang straight up with the economy. It's going to be a curve. So we'd say we still have a little bit more downward to go, and I'd wait on it. Next up, this one surprised me. We've got the Joker, issue number 1 from 1975, first appearance of the Joker in a solo series. It is a very known comic book, but I haven't ever seen like super high grades on this. 6, 7s, maybe even some 8s, but that's about what I normally see. On the second, a 9.8 did sell of this book for $13.70. Fair market was $15.56, and the high sale of this in 2021 at $27.60. So we're at half of where it was, and a 9.6 going for $4.50. Honestly, I think the only reason this is on here is because we've got a couple of recent sales of a 9.6 and a 9.8. But you think about this is a known, people know this book without having to read it. They could see it out of the corner of their eye and know what book it is. Okay. It's a 1975 book. We're coming up next year on this book being 50 years old. And somebody just paid $1,300 for this and a 9.8. I got to say that's a good deal. And considering the characters that are here on the cover, I got to say this is a good deal. And I don't have $1,300 to go out and buy one. I'll tell you that right now. But if you can find one, a 9.4 for $285, look at it, 8.5, $136. 7.5, $107. This is not a book you're going to regret buying. Okay, even if the price goes down a little bit, up a little bit, whatever, it's not ever going to be worth $1 million. But this is a book that you will enjoy having in your collection. So, me, I'd love to find that like 9.2 at 215 or an 8.5 at 136. I would love to find one of those. Jeez. Next on the list, we have Fantastic Four number 94, first appearance of Agatha Harkness, and the first mention of the name Franklin Richards. This book had a much, much higher price back when WandaVision came out. 9.8 sold in 2022 for $11,400. What do we got now? No sales in the last several months. 9,000 for was the last sale. 9.6 sold for $559. Wow. Let's see, now that's actually right about normal. That's normal. That's normal. These are all selling right at about fair market value. The raws near mint selling for $220. That's up a little bit. And $133 for the very fines, also up a little bit. I hear a lot of people saying how bad this show is. I see people on Instagram giving it last episode, it was a 2 out of 10. Like, are you watching the same show I'm watching? I mean, look, it's not Shawshank Redemption. I understand that, but it is entertaining. Okay. It's a 6.5 out of 10. I'll give that. Do I think it could have been better? Absolutely. Do I think it could have been worse? Oh yeah. I'm enjoying this a hell of a lot more than I did Secret Invasion. A Secret Invasion, that was a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. And before people were like, no, that was a 1. No, Battlefield Earth was a 1. Okay. Uh, sitting through an old history lecture or something like that. Um, Imagine sitting through a lecture where you already know every single thing that they're saying. There you go. Um, that's that, something like that that puts you to sleep. That's a 1 out of 10. There is some entertainment value in even Secret Invasion, and in Agatha All Along, I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. There are a lot of cute things in it. It's not jumping the shark on some of the things like they did in She-Hulk. And Action Nerd Network is joining us. Howdy, how are you, sir? Um, yeah, there's a lot of positives. There are negatives about Agatha All Along. I'm enjoying it, but I think this book is going to continue to come down, even by the people that like it. Once the show ends, this is going to go down a little bit, and we may get a little resurgence when we get the Vision Quest series. But moreover, I think that this book has a good chance of going up because it's the first mention of Franklin Richards, and at the same time, getting the first appearance of Franklin Richards to go hand in hand. Um, you would want to get those two because Fantastic Four will have Franklin Richards at some point. Even if it's not in the next movie, it will in the future. He's too popular, too powerful a character not to. If anything, he's definitely going to be there for Secret Wars. Okay, so right now, hold off a little bit unless you get a good price, and but look for it once the show is over. Masters of the Universe #1 direct sale edition in 1982, which is lower printing. It was about 1984, 85. From DC. This was not his first appearance in comics. That was the DC Comics Presents Superman versus He-Man. But this was his first solo title. So we got high mark of 1250 for 9.8. Now high 261 for a 9.8. 9.6 for 130. Okay. It's a very well known cover, but I remember this being everywhere. I remember this being a lot of copies. This spikes every time there's a new comic line, somebody farts something that sounds like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, or He-Man movie, live action, and which always makes it spike. And as soon as it's over, it goes back down again. I'm not a big fan of He-Man. Mrs. Ohana is, so I can't talk too badly about it. But if you are a fan, 261 is not a terrible price for a 9.8. 9.6 at 130, 9.4 for 81. I wouldn't go any lower than 9.4. It was just based on when it came out and how many copies there were. You should be able to find one, or just get a really good, nice quality raw for $40 or so. Yeah, Nearman's going for 43. Hey, I guessed it right. Let's see, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Two more, and we're at the halfway point. Pilot season, declassified 2011. This is the first appearance of the series, The Beauty. Now, we've got a couple other books on this list that are discussing The Beauty, and that is because we have FX, the network, has secured the rights for making this a series. And if I'm not mistaken, Ashton Kutcher is going to be in it. They start filming in the fall with no release date scheduled. So it could be in the spring, it could be 2026. We don't know. It's on FX. How well will it do? Now, virtually every time a book is like this, a small mini series or whatever is made into a TV show, it spikes up when the show comes out, and then as soon as the show is over and the comic book is over, it fades into oblivion. Even the good ones. Okay. So this does not have long-term investability in it. And the actual cover of The Beauty is much later on in the list, but it is here. I swear I had a copy of that, unless I put it into a grab bag and just gave it away. I mean, I had a copy, I think, of a 9.8, and I don't know what I did with it. But of the books that are on the list for The Beauty, this is really the first appearance of the series. I don't think people are going to be searching for this one. We have Space Case Cards joining us. How are you, sir? And coming in number 11, we have Amazing Fantasy number 15, first appearance of Amadeus Cho, also known as Mastermind Excello, also known as Totally Awesome Hulk, also known as Brawn, also known as another character that will fade into oblivion. Now, this is one of the new Avengers. He's been around for a long time. If I'm not mistaken, we've already got casting news for this character, which is or rumors, and it makes sense because I believe that Billy and Agatha is Wiccan, and yeah, Wiccan and Amadeus Cho are a couple. So if you bring in one, you're probably going to wind up bringing the other, and that will really solidify the Young Avengers. This book used to be so much more expensive. 9.8 in 2021, sold for $2,500. Anybody want to take a guess what it sells for now? $350. Jeez. And that's actually up. Fair market value is at 332. 9.6 selling for 195. Wow, how this market has really changed. And that 350 is up because the fair market at 332 was pulled up a little bit of the 350. So we're probably selling for around 300 or 320 before that. The 2006. I don't know. Sorry. You're right. Okay. I knew it was something to do with Hulk. Thank you for the correction on that. Wow. So, but we do have casting for Amadeus Cho. I was just linking the two together because I figured that we were going to be getting them both those characters at the same time. Thank you for that correction. I apologize for that. And well phrased as well. Significant other doesn't get me blocked by YouTube. I don't know. This worries me a bit, and I'm going to go to full screen for this. Bringing in a character that we all know, okay, even if it's say like Hulkling and Wiccan and all these new characters, they've got toxic haters before the first word is seen in a trailer, before they even know what the storyline is going to be, and it's hard to get something new past this blockade of people giving it horrible reviews before anything is even released. And a lot of these cases, it's merited. Okay, a lot of these shows, I can see why they get bad reviews, but to give something a 1 out of 10, when 1,000 people review something 1 out of 10 on IMDb the day before it's actually even released to the public, there's something wrong. So that being said, this casting of Amadeus Cho, how well is it going to be received by the public? I don't know. If it's not received well and it's not written well, then this is the highest you're going to see it right now. Maybe when the trailer comes out, that's about it. All right, let's move back here. And we're going to take a moment to say thank you to all our Patreon members, our YouTube members. If you would like to join Patreon, the link is in the description. If you would like to join as a YouTube member, just right down below, you can click membership. Both of them are for $3 a month, just to help to subsidize some of the shipping costs and purchasing of the books and stuff like that. And you also get to see your name up in lights. So let me say thank you. And I will be, at the end of this, we'll be back with the top 10. Remember to lower your volume. Here we go. Yeah, I have got to re-record that and lower the volume because I just scared the crap out of myself, and I knew it was coming. Stinkabun says that he figured out who the boy was by episode 2. I found out I was right when Funko spilled the beans. Well, Funko has actually spilled the beans on 2 different characters, one of them being on this list. So, if you, like I said, if you want to avoid those spoilers, I will try to make sure I let you know. Uh, okay, the next book is one of those spoilers. So I am going to I'm going to hit this in a second. If you really want to avoid all spoilers possible for Agatha All Along, mute yourself and wait till you see the book after this. Okay. All right. So fair warning. Here we go. Book number 10 on the list. We have Captain Marvel number 26, a book that hardly anybody's ever seen, but it is the first appearance of Death and the first cover appearance of Thanos, because Thanos was courting death, and that's why he actually went for the Infinity Gauntlet. And why do we say this? Is because Aubrey Plaza, uh, according to the same back of a Funko, where you see Wiccan, you also see the character and the Funko Pop released for Death, and that's going to be Aubrey Plaza's character. And I think that we're going to see her for quite a while in the MCU. Yeah. All right. So this is 9.8 sold in 2022 for $5,000. What is it selling for now? For nope, no sales. $450 for a 9.6 on the 4th, and 9.4 sold back in September 29th. Well, that probably was breaking news already at that point. For 250. Near Mint Raw is going for 120. Woof. No real other grades. We got a $75 sale and a 6.5, a $36 sale for 5.5. You see dark, lighter gray. It's because that's nothing recent in the last 6 months or 5 months or whatever is their cutoff. It's just showing that recently those grades have not sold, so the information is not as accurate. This is not a $5,000 book. I'm sorry, a 9.8. Come on. I understand Captain Marvel is going to be a harder book to come across. Captain Marvel, and that's not even the regular book. That's a 6 pence version. Oh, I was okay. Hang on, that's what I did. I clicked on it. So that's the 20-cent version. Okay, so this is a year or two older than that Joker book. Yeah, 2 years older than that Joker book. I would rather have multiple. I would rather have a copy of Joker in 9.8 than this. Anytime. And that $5,000 sale, but earlier this year, that same 9.8 sold for 2,000. Captain Marvel, like I said, is going to be tougher to find because I think more people would have bought Joker off the stands, going, "Oh, cool, a Joker book," than Captain Marvel number 20. This may have a little tiny spike after her character is actually announced when they say, "Oh, yeah, no, dear, I'm Death." By the way, I love the way Aubrey Plaza is acting. um, the looks in her eyes is just perfect. But yeah, I might look for a near mint raw for 120, but I'm not going for these graded books because when the series is over and Halloween is over, even at that point, even if and we know she's gonna have a future with it, but even at that point, I think this book is gonna go down a little bit. So I would look then if you really got to have it. Coming up number 9, Svengoolie 45th anniversary Bonanza. I didn't get it. I never followed Svengoolie. I don't know much about Svengoolie. I know it's got its own little cult following. It's not me. This book just came out last week. This is the 1 in 10 photo variant, and it's selling for about 35 bucks. This came out from Gemstone Comics, so most likely you would have had to put this on your pull list. Yeah, it's okay. So This kind of reminds me of um, Sonic the Hedgehog. That the followers are going to be very loyal, but very limited. So once they secure their copies, the rest of the comic book market is not going to be much interest in it, and I really don't think it's going to hold much value. It's a 1 in 10. I see this being down around $12, $15 within 4 months. Sorry, I'm just not feeling it. Next on the list, we've got dropped. It's out of the number one spot, people. Mark Spears' Monsters, the cover E Bridezilla. I was able to get a couple of copies of this myself. This did hit as high as $150, but if you look at these sales now, 55, 57, they have really settled back. Uh, Robert says he watches Svengoolie every Saturday. What? It's still on? Again, I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. So, um, hmm. Did you get your copy? The fact that this has dropped this fast already. I mean, I've got a couple of copies. I am planning on having them with me at the Cartersville Comic Con this coming Saturday. I hope there's still a market for them by that point. But I might be selling them for what I purchased them for, which is about $30. I'll have to see what recent sales are, but as fast as this is dropping, I would not be surprised to see this next week in the bottom half of this list and going for 35 to 40. So, I think people have gotten their profits and they're quickly trying to dump whatever inventory they have. If you want a copy on this, limit yourself to $30. It'll still have value just as, because of, I don't think it's going to go down to 15, 20. At least I hope not. But it's not going to go back up to 100 again. That's for sure. Next on the list, we have the Beauty #1 Jenny Frison variant. Man, this was a great cover by Jenny Frison. And this is this 2015, so this is 9 years ago. I don't know how long she's been drawing, but this got to be a pretty early work for her. 9.8 of this sold in 2021 for $190, currently selling for $175. Best cosplay I ever saw was Svengoolie, whatever. It was Deadpool with a mustache drawn on and wearing a wig with top hat. Beautiful. Cool. I don't even know who this character is. So this book, I remember this book having an interest a few years ago, and then it just kind of like faded into oblivion, and now it's just like jumped back up on the list again because the FX show that they're going to start the production of sometime this fall. They said, well, this fall only has about a month and a half left. 2.5 months. Sorry. Right now you got breaking news. I like the Frison more than I like the cover A. That's pretty much just anytime you see her work. It got optioned. You talk about the Svengoolie or the Beauty? If it's the Beauty, yeah, I mentioned that earlier when we were discussing. Where was it? Nope. Where were you? Here we go. This was in the second half. I think it was number 11. The pilot season declassified number 11, which was the first appearance of the Beauty. So the Beauty itself, yes, has been optioned by they purchased FX has purchased it, and they begin production of it this fall. And I also did read that Ashton Kutcher is going to be in it, so it's got some, not saying great star power, but it does have some people, some known actors. It's got the breaking news now, so you got a little bit of a spike in price. If it's going to be produced, in production in the fall, it doesn't say when the release date can be. If it's in 2025, 2026, we don't know. Early, late, we have no idea. So when this drops off the list because people are not really paying attention to it, that's your best time try to get a deal with somebody. The Ghostwriter Robbie Reyes special. I think this was the cover. I never heard of it until this week. I started reading number one. It's it's an interesting story. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a an STD, sexually transmitted disease, which can kill you in a very violent way. But one of the other side effects is that before it kills you, it makes you better looking. So by getting this STD, you become like a freaking supermodel, and which makes you more attractive towards having sex with other people and spreading out this STD, which will eventually kill out everybody. So dang. uh, so the first full appearance of Phantasma, and think I've got that book. Nope, nope, no, I didn't get the special. I got the regular Ghostwriter number one, unless that's a different issue. Let's take a quick look. Yep, no, I got the regular cover A. And I got the cover B, but I did not get the special. Of course, that's the way it works, right? Oh well. So it's the first appearance of Phantasma. Every week we get a first appearance of somebody. I mean, even the ones that are well named and well, initially liked, sometimes they fade into oblivion. I mean, look at Punchline. Punchline's first appearance isn't what it was, and that's a character that people everybody knows now. In the last year, how many new characters just in Spider-Man and Spider-Boy and Miles Morales have they come out with that have already gone away? That Hulk book with Ghost Rider 44 has spiked. Oh, the Ghost Rider from a century ago. Yeah, I hadn't. It's not even on a list anymore. It's on the hot list, and I didn't have any real interest in it at all in the first place. So, because to me, like a Ghost Rider from on a motorcycle from back then, so it predates Carter Slade. So they went from motorcycles to horses to motorcycles. That doesn't make sense either. Eh. So, all right. So anyway, this Ghost Rider, wow, 9.8 is pre-selling for $70, and near mint raw is going for 11. Okay, that's not like earth shattering. It must be just volume of it. Um, it's a really cool cover, and I would say that this is probably very well pre-ordered. So I wouldn't think this is going to hold a lot of value just by the quantity of it. The question is, will it hold value because of interest, which I also speculative. Yes, they did have motorcycles. I understand that, but the Ghost Rider comic book from the 1950s featured Carter Slade, um, which was on horseback. So if you start to put it all into a canon timeline, it goes from motorcycles to motorcycles, and I don't like that. That's all I'm saying. I know they had motorcycles in the 1940s. Captain America: First Avenger was riding one in the original movie. Um, Actually, the Germans had more motorcycles than the Americans did. The suspension on those things was really horrible too. I hated the springs that are on the seats. Anyway, getting off topic. I think this book is not that expensive. If you like it, go ahead and get it. But I got a feeling that based on how cool the cover looked, this was very well pre-ordered, and I think it will drop down in value. Next on the list, the Hello Darkness. I can't believe this is still on the list, honestly. Hello Darkness, Paulo Rivera's Virgin, one per store, which makes it about the equivalent of like a 1 in 25-ish, I think. The Virgin, the regular issue shows the trade dress over her butt, and the Virgin, of course, takes off the trade dress, which then uncovers her butt. So you can see Hello Darkness there. Let's see how prices are doing. Raw sold for 93 is the highest value, now selling for 83 and 93. If you want, if this is something that you really feel like you gotta have, save some money and go buy a gun honey. That's all. Because honestly, I'm not in love with the story, and I really don't think that the art is all that fantastic. It's good. It's very good, but it's not phenomenal. Uh, it needs to be a pogo stick. Ghost Rider. Yeah, I don't know if I want to piss off a Ghost Rider who's got a pogo stick because I don't know where he's going to want to put that pogo stick. And Space Case is also saying meh on the Hello Darkness. You know what I mean? If it's your cup of tea, it's like any kind of art itself. Art is subjective. Different people like it. I do love the artwork that's everywhere else around here. I'm just not crazy about her. I would pay more for just the artwork of the lighthouse scene with the ship in the background. Um, I'd like to see that as a poster, actually. But as a comic book, I'd pass. Just me. Next up, we got Pilot Season, The Beauty. This is also from 2011. And yeah, no, yeah. No, the lighthouse really is a great. I know. The water spray that's in that, the amount of work that went into that as an artist, I have to give him a lot of credit. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not an artist, so picking on me. Jeez. What's this world coming to? Another one of the beauty books. It's up 17%. We've got a 9.4 slab sold in 2017 for $10. Now near mint raws are selling for $32. There are no slabbed sales. Now, when this happens, I just realized that Vision's picking on me. I will be there on Wednesday. I'm gonna kick your butt. Just notice that it was a green label there. When you see no slab sales since 2017, and even though this is on the hot list and there are no slab sales, it means there are no slabs. It means prior to this news, nobody cared enough about this book to send it in for grading. And when this news fades into oblivion, that's going to be the mentality again. So, no, I'm not buying this book for $32. I wouldn't pay $10 for this book. I think I will be able to pay $10 for this book in 3 months and maybe send it in for grading at that point. I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be, I mean, what if it happens to be the best show ever? I don't know. Well, then I'll regret not buying this stuff, but there's a lot of books I regret not buying. So we have the issue number 5 of X-Men, the 1 in 25 error issue. This was the one I think that on the back cover listed as issue number 1, not issue number 5. However, I'm not aware of a corrected version. So if you don't have a corrected version, that means that the error version is not any scarcer than any other 1 in 25. So if you could say, if you know your baseball cards, if you could say like the 1989 Fleer Billy Ripken card was known for some special writing on the bottom of the baseball bats. Well, in the long run, that card was actually doesn't hold that much value because there was a lot of them. Fleer quickly tried to airbrush over as they were printing. No, first they did a black box, then they did an airbrush, then they did something better. So there's like multiple variants of the corrections. The one that was printed the least is the one that's worth the most money. If there are no corrected versions, you only have one version, then the error is meaningless. Still kind of mad about Krakoan era, so I'm not on anything new X related. Hey, I can't argue with you on that. Plus, there's like 10 different storylines of X related stuff these days. So which one do you follow? They're all cash grabs, in my opinion. So we got $38 for a near mint raw and $100 pre-sale for a 9.8. This is going to absolutely drop. I'm going to give you this is my bust for the week. It's very, very close with the Ghost Rider, but the Ghost Rider is not selling for anywhere near as much as this. There's no corrected version of this, so nobody's going to care about this. Just because it says number 1 on the back, Everybody bags and boards their books anyway. Who's going to take it out and look to see if it says number 1 on the back? So popular, everybody knows by looking at it. It's a number 5. And coming in at number 1, there's the cover A of The Beauty from 2015. Yeah, that is a good cover, but I still like the Frizzen the better. Uh, I like the Frizzen the better. Wow, I speak English. 9.8's highest known value is now. Now, believe it or not, this book's been around since 2015. It's $115 just sold, and $82 is fair market value. So this was selling for like 60, $70. Near mint raws still selling recently, $17 for near mint, $10 for a near mint plus. You can still find these. You could probably, if you might get lucky and still find these in the back issue bins. Okay. It might be marked for say $10 for a number 1. Just make sure it's a great looking copy. I would go diving and looking for those. Okay. For $10 and so you can hold it until the series comes out. Yes. That being said, I wouldn't spend $115 on this. Actually, I'm going to go look through some of my stuff. I think I got a copy of this as a 9.8 somewhere that I had at a show for listed for $55 and it didn't sell. So, this is going to come back down, but it will go up a little bit more. So I can't call this the bust of the week. I'll wait until it goes up a little bit more and then call it the bust of the week. All right. So I'm calling my bust ahead of time right now is the X-Men number 5, the 1 in 25. I should have just clicked on this instead. It would have made my life easier because an error is only an error if there is a correction. If there's not a correction, then it's just oops, who cares? Now I've got to come up with my boom. I've got my bust now. I made my boom. Which one do I think will have the best chance to either go up or will go down the least? If I had to, gun to my head, that's what I used to call this, the gun to my head pick, which one would I buy and why? You know what? I was surprised to see it on the list, and I'm happy because I would go for this. I'm still saying I would go for the Joker 1975 book, and I would be shooting for like an 8.5 and for 136 or a 9.2 and 215. I would really try to shoot for a white page. You should be able to in a 1975 book. Because that's just that. Yeah, that in a 9.2 or even a well-presenting 8.5, that would look great on my wall. I love it. I love it. It's an iconic cover, and I love it. So that it would be my pick. All right. So I am not going to blast that thing again. And as soon as I end this stream, I'm going to try to fix that. And I apologize to everybody who has been dying from that lately. So I'm just going to end this. And remember, everybody, please make sure that you join us on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day, where we have a giveaway every single week. To enter, you just have to make sure you subscribe. You go to last week's video of New Comic Book Day and click like and drop a comment. We use the random comment generator. And, you know, if you want to see what the books are that were given, it's right at the end of that video. If you want to see who won last week, it's right at the beginning. All right, guys, I'm going to see you on Wednesday. And even though we did break the record, you can still go and just donate if you feel like going to Comics Curing Cancer C3. And I want to thank every single person that did help out this year. It was a great event. 54,000 and change. And the year's not over. We might still go up. And hopefully, this channel did enough that we can get another one of the American Cancer Society coins from Comics Curing Cancer. Yes, I love this. This is here with me every single day. I love this thing. Significant Contributor Award. That's out of all the things I've ever done comic wise, this is probably one of my proudest. I love it. And Rob, if you ever see, you see this, thanks again. That means a lot. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining. Until I see you in the next video, mahalo.